Hello everyone and welcome to Thursday. All of our stuff is packed. We are ready to go. The car's right outside. We're going to be heading out of DC and heading to Williamsburg, Virginia today. Tomorrow we're going to be exploring Colonial Williamsburg. It's been a long time since I've been there and Mal's never been there. Should be a lot of fun. But first, we're going to do something a little unusual. Definitely a little strange, and it feels unusual to me. It feels strange to me. But I feel compelled to do it because the stars are aligned in such a perfect way that I don't want to miss this opportunity. We're going to be backtracking. We're going to be going an hour north back up to Myersville, Maryland, to attend a funeral. Well, specifically a visitation. We're going to be attending a visitation of a extended family member. Now, you probably know, if you've watched the vlog for some time, I'm not particularly close with my extended family. I don't know them. I've grown up far away from the extended family, and I don't know them very well. But I guess it's my great uncle, my grandfather's, my dad's dad, who was Wesley, his brother. Has passed away a few days ago, and I got the news from my parents who said that he passed away, and there was going to be a funeral on Thursday or whatever. And they didn't send that to me with the intention of you should go, because they didn't know where we were, they didn't know where the funeral was, etc. But things have worked out in such a perfect way that I do feel compelled to go. It's happening today when we're already done with our DC adventures. We are on our way over to Williamsburg, which is not that far away. It's really no trouble at all to head north for an hour and then back on our drive. And this family member who passed away was Darius. My grandfather Wesley came from a pretty big family, quite a few brothers and sisters, some of which have passed and some of which are still alive. But I'm sure I haven't met all of them. I don't think I've ever met Darius. I don't think I've ever met his children or his grandchildren or any of these people. And even the family members that I have met, I've met maybe once, possibly twice, at like family reunions 2+ decades ago. So I don't know these people. And that's the part that feels weird. Like, we are family in the sense that we share a common ancestor, but at the same time, it feels very strange because I don't know Darius. I'm pretty sure I never met him, but he was my grandfather's brother. And I don't know his children or his grandchildren. There's a good possibility that we won't know anyone there. But I feel compelled to go. Again, the stars are aligned too perfectly to pass this up. And within the last year or so, I've felt more connected to family than I ever have. After our trip last July, visiting Maryland and West Virginia, returning to some of these grave sites and things like that, and also Mal working on our family tree, I feel very strangely compelled to do this. And if I was in South Carolina, it would be a different story. Everything would be too far away. We'd be busy. But the fact that it's happening today makes me want to do this. So I don't know what's going to happen. I don't know if I'm going to get a chance to meet people I have met before, and it's just been forever. I don't know who's going to be there, and it's going to be strange because I'm going to have to introduce myself to, Darius's wife and kids and grandkids, and say, you don't know me, but we're related. It's going to be a unique experience. Yeah. Anyway, you ready?
Yep.
Let's do it. That was really good.
So we win?
That was kind of a strange experience for me. But there was a ton of people here that I knew. My grandmother wasn't here. She unfortunately couldn't make it. But
it's quite far for her.
It is quite far. There were so many extended family members that I haven't seen in 20 years. It was wild. My grandfather, brother to Darius, was one of 7 kids. There are now 3 of those siblings remaining. And one I remember quite well, my Uncle Vernon, who was the youngest of the 7. And I mean, he's still quite old now. But I remember him coming down to Myrtle Beach, and he was always really adventurous. Like even when he would come down to visit us, he was older then, and he was always saying like, I really, I want to go skydiving. I want to do all. He was always like into this like extreme stuff. And when I saw him in there, it was such a weird experience because I haven't seen him in like 20 years. And I knew who he was immediately, and I started talking to people, and some people recognized me. Some people, after I said, I introduced myself, and they said, and who are you? I said, well, I'm Steve George's son. They kind of flipped out. They haven't seen me since I was, knee height, and it was a really good experience. And you got to meet some people.
Yeah.
You got to meet some of my family. I mean, and I had never met Darius' son, Phil. So that was, certainly not the best terms to meet on. But he made me feel extremely welcomed. And he said, your family. And I don't know. It was just... it was nice. Anyway, they're going up for the, I forget what the official name for the burial. I decided we should probably get on the road, but we were there for the viewing and for the funeral. I got to see just so many people, great aunts and great uncles, and aunts removed and uncles. I'm not exactly sure how all that stuff works, but it was really nice. Again, my parents don't even know we came, so that's going to be interesting. I took some pictures of some of the family, and I'm just going to send it to our little family group chat and see what happens. They're probably going to flip out a little bit too that we were here. I know that if they could have been, they would have loved to have been here. My dad hasn't seen his aunts and uncles and some of his cousins. He hasn't seen them in 20 years. So he would have loved this, but... Anyway, on to different things. We've got to get to Williamsburg, so let's work towards that. But first, we have to get to a place where we actually have cell phone service, because right now we are here in the parking lot of a little country church called Grossnickel, and we don't have any cell phone service. So we're going to attempt to drive back the way we came till service appears, and then we should be able to get to Virginia. There's a big old bridge.
It's a really big bridge.
This is I don't know if this is the biggest bridge we've ever been on, because the one in Louisiana
was real big.
When you go into New Orleans, it's real big.
Well, I've been on the Mackinac Bridge. That one's big.
I don't know where that is.
It's the one that connects Lower Michigan and Upper Michigan.
For the record, we're crossing into Delaware.
Sort of. This is the Bay Bridge.
We're on our way. This is the Bay Bridge. So what we decided to do, since we had to backtrack and go north to get back to Myersville, Maryland for the funeral, instead of just going back down to Williamsburg and just basically seeing all the same stuff, we decided it might be kind of fun to...
Drive into Dover?
Yeah, so actually drive the length of Delaware. Delaware is a state, no offense to anyone from Delaware, but like you forget it exists. So we're going to force ourselves to remember it exists by driving the length of Delaware. So we're driving over into Delaware. We're going to go over to Dover. There's actually a few game stores. Check out some game stores in Dover, and then drive south all the way through Delaware. Then we won't forget. We're still on the bridge. Oh my God, there's more bridge.
There's a lot more bridge.
This is a very long bridge. Queen Anne's County. We just crossed the county line. You know where we crossed it? On a bridge. This is nutso. So the little hump there.
Yeah.
When I see this, I'm just like, think of the score that you would get if you grinded this in Tony Hawk. Because you just be so long. Anyway, do we have the little hump on the side too?
I'm not sure. I can't see. The semi's in my way.
Because the semi. I'm real curious if it's.
I'm sure it is because it's
if it matches on
underneath,
both sides.
so boats can get through.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, we do.
Look at this. This is cool, man. I like these big bridges. And when we exit Delaware from the south end, we'll have a big bridge to get back into Virginia, right?
We may already be in Virginia before we go on the bridge.
Well, you know what I mean.
Yeah,
It's going to be a big bridge.
Yeah.
It's going to be a big bridge. These bridges are cool. A marvel of human engineering. And then also, you in the back of your mind, you remember all of the different bridge crashes that have happened over the last 10, 20 years. And you're just kind of like, I really hope that this is up to code and they keep checking on it. Hope so. So we finally got to a game store that existed and or was open. And it was XL? XL Games. And we went in there just real quick. I didn't film in there. The only thing I bought in there was... I can't reach it now. Namco Museum 50th Anniversary, because it's separate from Namco Museum. I hadn't seen it on the trip, and they had it, and I was like, oh, so this does exist. Cool, so I got that. They also had Blood Omen 2, which I have not seen, but Blood Omen 2 didn't have the manual, and that's a non-starter, so I was like, never mind, don't care. Yeah, it was nice. I wasn't in there very long, so I didn't bother filming in there. Now we go to the hotel?
Yeah.
And we're not even in Delaware. So I can't even say I bought that in Delaware.
We're in Maryland.
We're back in Maryland. Mm-hmm. Because the big peninsula, I always look at it and I think it's Delaware, but it's not just Delaware.
3 states.
It's 3 states. It's Delaware, Virginia, and Maryland. And we're already out of Delaware. Delaware's this big. Yeah. Delaware's big enough to put 1 foot in. That's it. Anyway, Williamsburg. Look at this. We are getting ready to start on a 17-mile bridge. First thing I gotta say is that this entire peninsula, this Delaware / Virginia / Maryland peninsula, is easily one of the most boring drives I have done in my entire life. Not as boring as West Texas, but easily it's got to be one of the most boring in the U.S. It is wild. It's almost a completely straight road. You got 100 miles with 4 restaurants, 100 abandoned motels. From what I can gather, Matt was telling me a little bit about the history of this bridge. This bridge was opened in the 60s. So before then, you couldn't get down to the peninsula unless you drove the entire length of the peninsula. So when they opened this bridge, I'm guessing there was a lot of people that built stuff, and there was maybe a lot of traffic that came through this way. But then it all died out, and now it's just tons of abandoned motels, a bunch of nothing, and there's only a few restaurants here and there, and just all this abandoned stuff. You said that is it the bridge we're on now, Mal? That's the one from the 60s?
I can't remember.
One's from the 60s and one is from 99. Originally it was, one bridge and then you went both ways on the bridge. And then they just decided to open up a second bridge. But yeah, this is this the longest bridge in the U.S.?
No.
No. Really?
I think the one in Louisiana is longer.
Oh, wow, okay. But yeah, this is a 17-mile bridge. The interesting thing about this, and what we're going to get a chance to see, is that at 2 different points, the bridge goes underwater. It goes into a tunnel, which I find mildly frightening, but whatever. I'm sure it's fine. We're just driving, There's nothing out here. We're just in the water, man. And all the lights, as far as you can see, that's the bridge. That's the bridge.
Get that focus out there.
That's nuts. Anyway, we're going to be on this for, a little bit. And then we'll finally be, on the other side of Virginia. Because we were in Virginia. Then we'll be in more Virginia.
There's some big ships out there, too.
And at some point, this goes underwater. And I'm just...
really excited?
Yeah, it's exciting because it's a cool thing. But it's also, like, a little frightening. The idea that, this is all man-made. This must have been a heck of a project. But if they haven't had any incidents since the 60s, it's probably fine. Probably. (9:41 p.m.) We have done it. We have arrived at our destination. It's been a day. Today we started outside of DC. We went to a funeral. Then we went up and around, unnecessarily, just for, kicks, through Delaware, all the way down the length of that peninsula, across a 17-mile bridge, and now we're finally here. Are you trying to figure out someplace to eat?
Yeah.
Okay. Anyway, it's good to be here. I gotta tell you, as fun as it has been to buy these games on this trip, I'm getting real tired falling those in. Because that box is huge and that bag's gotten bigger. I don't know how many games we have now. It's too many. Let's go grab a bite to eat somewhere. It's kind of late, but we'll find a place open till 11 or later. This crab dip is so stinking good, oh my god. And the pita bread, man. Came to a place called Oceans and Ales, and it was already a good choice. Is that she crab? Okay. Is that good? Because it looks pretty good. Mal did something a little less than I did, because I actually went for a burger. This is the Chesapeake burger. It's got mozzarella and crab dip in Old Bay. And I gotta admit, after having the crab dip appetizer, I'm a little crabbed out. That food was excellent, but crab dip is like super rich. And halfway through that crab dip appetizer that we ordered because we were starving, I was like, oh god, I ordered a crab dip burger and I'm so done with crab dip right now. So, let that be a lesson. Don't order your entree and your appetizer be like the same thing, because by the time you've eaten a little of the appetizer, you'll be like, oh wait, no. But it was good. That was a good dinner, and the crab dip, despite being super rich, was really delicious. Anyway, now we're gonna go to bed. Tomorrow the agenda is Colonial Williamsburg. Did you know that's the theme song?
Really?
Yeah.
Did you write it?
What? No, that's what's on the television.
Oh,
It comes up and it says, "Do you like it when things are old? Come on down and we'll show you how to hit an anvil here in Colonial Williamsburg." That's the song.
okay.
That's real. And so believable. Anyway, that's it for today. Thank you so much for watching. And as always, let's meet back tomorrow, shall we?